Okay, we're going to be adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing decimals. The rule for adding and subtracting decimals is basically align decimals first. So I'm going to write 1.2 here, and then align the next decimal here and 0.3. What we're really aligning is all the ones and all the tenths, hundredths, and possibly tens. So again, line decimals and your tenths and your ones will align. Then once everything's aligned, then we can add. So 3 and 2 make 5. There's a decimal. And then 1 and 0 make 1. And we're done. Okay, same thing with subtraction. A subtraction, you align the decimals. Once your decimals are aligned, then you can go ahead and subtract. Okay, can't take 3 from 2, so I'll borrow from a 1, that becomes 0. And this becomes a 12 now instead of a 2. So 3 from the 12 gives us 9. Your decimal, and 0 from 0 is 0. Okay, so that's the rule for adding, subtracting, align decimals. Now, the rule for multiplying decimals is basically we're going to count and remove decimals. So let's count how many times it takes to move this decimal to the back. So this is one move, so that's 1. And then how many times does it take to get the decimal to the back of the 3? That was 1 move. And so you add these up and you get a total of 2. Okay, so we're going to use that in a minute. So now that the decimals have been removed, we just write the numbers without the decimals. So this is basically 12 times 3. 3 times 2 gives us 6, and 3 times 1 gives us 3. Now, this answer right here needs the sum of 2 decimal places. So you start back here, that's 1, and then that's 2, and the decimal ends up here. So this is a 0.36 with 2 decimal places. Okay, division. Now, division, what we do is we're going to flip the divisor. Now, this number right here, the second number right here, the 0.3, that's your divisor. Right now. We're going to flip the divisor, so the divisor comes first. So this is 0.3. And then we write the original number, 1.2. Now, for division, basically your divisor needs to be a whole number. So this decimal needs to go behind your divisor, so your divisor becomes whole without a decimal. So we move the decimal to this spot right here, right behind the 3. Okay. And however we move the divisor, we move the decimal inside the same number of times. So this is what the new problem looks like. 3 with the decimal just behind, and a 12 with the decimal here now. And now that all the decimals has been moved, now we can start the division process. So the closest thing to 1 in the 3 time tables is 0 and 0. So we're going to subtract, and we'll get 1, and then we bring down our 2. Now we have a 12. The closest thing to 12 in the 3 time tables is 12, and the multiplier is 4. We subtract that, and we get 0. So now our final answer is we have a 0, 4, and a decimal there. Here's our decimal, so the decimal goes up here. So I'll write the 4 here and the decimal. Now, because the 0 is in front and it's in the tens, we don't have to write the 0 there. And there are no numbers here behind the 4, the decimal. We don't have to write anything here. But I'm just going to put a 0 here just to show there are no tenths in this particular problem. And this gives me the ability to keep my decimal here. This is the same thing as saying 4.